I've always believed that silence speaks louder than shouting. So when I found out my wife was cheating, I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I didn't pack a bag or storm out into the night. I planned dinner. Let me back up. Mary and I were married for 28 years. We weren't perfect. Who is? But we had our rituals. Sunday pancakes, Saturday matinees, late night Jeopardy. We raised 2 kids, paid off a mortgage, buried her father together. We had a life, a quiet, steady life. But about a year ago, she started pulling away. Nothing big, just small things. Fewer smiles, less laughter. Her phone always upside down, more work dinners that didn't make sense. The way she flinched when I hugged her from behind. At first, I told myself it was stress, menopause, a phase. Then I found the receipt. It was crumpled in her coat pocket. A dinner for 2, at a steakhouse she always said was too expensive. 2 glasses of wine, dessert. And the kicker? It was on our anniversary. I didn't confront her. Not yet. I needed more. So I waited, watched. She started going to book club on Thursdays. But I called the club leader, an old friend of ours. She hadn't seen Mary in months. Then came the messages. She left her laptop open one night. I wasn't snooping, not at first. But the screen lit up. Last night was amazing. I can't stop thinking about your hands. It wasn't signed, but the initials were TD. That's when I decided. No shouting, no drama, just dinner. I spent a week learning everything about this man. Todd Davidson, accountant, divorced, met Mary through a mutual friend. They'd been seeing each other for almost 9 months. So I invited him to dinner. As a surprise, I told Mary I was planning a little celebration, just us. Ordered her favorite wine. Cooked the lasagna recipe she loved from our honeymoon in Florence. She came home, all smiles. Maybe she thought things were turning around. Maybe she was just relieved I hadn't found out. At 7 p.m. sharp, the doorbell rang. She opened it, and there he was. Todd. Her face drained of color. She looked at me, then at him, then back at me. "Dinner's ready," I said. "Come in." They both sat, stiff as corpses. I served the lasagna, poured the wine, sat down like it was the most normal evening in the world. No one spoke for the first few minutes. Then I looked at Todd. "So," I asked, "how do you know my wife?" He choked on his wine. Mary gasped. I waited. He stood up. I I didn't know she was married." Mary shouted, "That's not true." I smiled. "Interesting." Todd stormed out. Mary followed him. I stayed at the table, ate my lasagna. She didn't come home that night. The next morning, I started packing. I left her a note. "You broke something I can't fix. I loved you. I hope he was worth it." But that wasn't the end. 2 months later, I mailed copies of the messages and receipts to our kids. Not to shame her, but because they deserved the truth. They were angry at both of us. Me for how I handled it, her for what she did. She called me crying, said I'd ruined her life. I said, "No, Mary, you did that yourself." I didn't date for a long time, but eventually I met someone. Not perfect, not flashy, but kind, honest. We go dancing on Fridays. She holds my hand when we cross the street. She knows the story, the whole story. She didn't run. She listens. Sometimes when I make lasagna, she says, "You've done this before." I nod, and I tell her, "Yeah, but back then I cooked it for someone who was already gone." She says nothing, just squeezes my hand. I look back now and wonder if I would have done anything differently. Maybe I should have shouted. Maybe I should have begged her to stay, or asked why, or even forgiven her. But I didn't want answers. I wanted honesty. And when I didn't get that, I made sure the lie came crashing down in the most honest way I could think of. A dinner table, 2 chairs, 3 people, and one truth. She wanted something more. She got it. But in the process, she lost the one thing that had always been real. And me? I got peace. Not revenge, not justice, just peace. And lasagna never tasted better.